had a wonderful career in government. I held two Senate confirmed jobs, but I think, you know, that is in the past. I'm looking at other opportunities. I first came down to Washington, Danny. I was really just focused on the government. Okay. I wanted to be first a professional staff member on the Armed Services Committee. Then I wanted to be a deputy assistant secretary. Then I wanted to be an assistant secretary. Then I wanted to be a deputy undersecretary. And, what I would say is one of the things that I have learned over the past year or so since I left government, there is a whole big world out there. And there's lots of interesting things where you can make a contribution and get paid a little bit more money than in government. And you're as you get older, Danny, you'll find that priorities shift. I've got parents who are in their 80s and are slowing down, so I'm eventually probably going to move back home after 35 years in Washington. So I don't think so. But one of the things I've learned in life, you never say never. But right now, the focus is on kind of looking at potential opportunities in the private sector. And I'm doing a lot of that work, focusing on kind of family related issues. But, I'm still a young man, so I have opportunities for the future. And so we will have to see. But that's not the plan right now. But again, you never know what direction life will take you.
Yeah, and was it challenging to adapt to this private sector environment after you've spent decades in the government?
Yeah, I mean, I was in government or government adjacent roles for over 30 years. So, it requires you to think differently. I mean, one of the good things about government, you're thinking about accomplishing a mission, and profit and loss does not factor into that. Where when you're in the private sector, it's fundamentally about making money for the company and the shareholders. And you need to adjust your mind to that. However, Danny, I would say a number of the skills that I learned in government are very useful in the private sector. I held a number of very senior level jobs in the government where I had a lot of interaction with foreign partners, with the press, with the public. And, I was talking to a colleague at one of the startups I am engaged with, and I said to him, you know what, Alan, in some ways, what we're doing in this company is very different than what I did in government. On the other hand, one of the things that's very similar is we're telling stories. Okay. When I was in the government, I had to sell U.S. policies to our foreign partners, to our Congress, to the public. And I do basically the same thing for the companies that I'm involved in. I'm telling a story. I'm saying, with this product, this will help you achieve your goal. So there are some differences, but at the end of the day, it's all about having an effective narrative and being able to articulate that narrative.